Hey guys, welcome to Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook. Today we'll be drawing this cute little cantaloupe. So to begin our cantaloupe today, we're going to start by drawing out a small U for the center. So because this is the part of the melon where we would have scooped out all those seeds, I'm going to have the line of this U just be a little bit wiggly. And then I'm going to draw out the top of the slice here. So starting on the right, I'm just going to draw a straighter line towards the right side of the paper. And then I'm going to come to the other side of the U and try to follow that same plane and draw a line towards the left. Then I'm just going to draw a big U shape that's connecting one end all the way to the other. And I've just rounded out my corners a little bit so that it's not a really blunt, harsh angle at the top of the melon. And so pretty much this is the fleshy part of our melon. So now we're going to draw in the rind. So starting here at the top right, draw a small line that's sort of angled downwards to the bottom right corner. And then you can start to curve a line all the way underneath your initial shape here. And as you pass that halfway point, you can start to bring that line to touch the bottom of your melon slice. We're going to add in our texture details when we paint it in. So the last thing we need to do is just draw in our face. So I'm going to start by just drawing some little rainbow shaped eyes, so basically just some upside down U's. And then we're going to give our cantaloupe a cute little open mouth. So coming right in between the eyes, I want the top of my mouth to be in line with the bottom of the eyes. So draw a horizontal line, and then I'm going to go underneath with a nice big U shape. Then I'm just going to draw a straight horizontal line just underneath the top of the mouth. That'll be the little row of teeth, and then just a little curve near the bottom for the tongue. Alright guys, so that's the drawing, and now we're going to move into the painting step. So you're just going to want your brushes, maybe some yellow, orange, a few shades of green, and maybe just a little bit of purple and some red for the cheeks and the tongue. Okay, so I'm starting off by just doing a simple water wash here with my number 6 paintbrush. So I'm just going to fill in the fleshy part of our melon slice. And then I'm going to take just a watered down orange color, and I'm just going to blend that right onto the wet paper. So it's a really light wash to begin with. And now that it's covered, I'm just going to start tapping in a little bit of yellow along the top edge of our melon. You can tap in a little bit more of that saturated orange across the bottom just to start creating some shadows. And then I'm applying just a wet on dry here, so I've got just a blend of green and sort of an ochre yellow color here, and I'm just going to fill in the rind. So now I'm going to switch to my number 2 paintbrush, and I'm just going to bring in some more saturated orange across the left and the bottom of the cantaloupe here to create some more shadowing. And I'll emphasize that highlight across the top by just adding in a little more yellow as well, and then just blend it out with some water. So I'm just working fairly quickly, and I'm just continuing to bring in a little bit more saturated color. If your paper starts to get really wet, you can just take a little pause and come back to it when it's dried a little bit more. Now let's go back and take in a little more saturated color into the rind. So again, it's just that green and ochre yellow color here. And I'm just going to start with the full saturation along the bottom and then just let it blend out towards the top. Then what you can do is with a more dry brush, so less wet, you're going to pick up some of that paint, and I'm just going to be tapping it into the rind. So you can see there where I've just got like those two different colors blending together, and I'm just going to dot it all the way down the rind. And this is just to create some texture through that melon peel. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a little light wash just on the inside of the orange here, so right where the rind and the orange meet, just a really light wash. And now I'm going to just fill in that space in the mouth with just a little bit of black here. Oops, I got a little bit of a water bleed there. And then I'm going to take some red to fill in the little tongue. Now it's time to add in some watercolor splatters, so just with a nice wet brush, pick up some of those colors you've been using and then just gently tap it all around the page. You can take some water directly onto the paint to create some different shapes. And let's paint in a nice purple shadow underneath. So just a nice easy wash. I'm using my number 6 brush and just blending it out to the side. And then I'm going to add in just a little bit of a green color just to tie it all in together. And now I want to add in the little cheeks, so I'm just going to take some red paint and just lightly tap it in underneath the eyes. You can blend it out a little bit with water if you don't want them to be too dark. For the final details, I'm going to use my Tombow brush markers here to add in some stronger accent colors. So just doing a nice little orange line here. I'm going to move this line across the left and then around the bottom of our cantaloupe here, and I'm just blending that color out with a wet brush just to make the line itself a little bit softer. And then we'll take in some yellow and we'll move that just across the top there to emphasize the lighter color across the top. And I have this nice really pale green here, and I'm just going to brush along that line where the rind and the flesh meet, and then we'll just dot in some yellow and then maybe dot in a little bit of that green right in the rind to emphasize that texture. And that's our super cute cantaloupe, guys. Thanks so much for drawing with me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And until next time for another Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook, keep making art and keep smiling.